And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster and I'm touching base with you as I do every day. And my voice is a little gone today. I don't know why. I think it's a little froggy going on. I must have got so excited about Gwendolyn's birthday yesterday. Anyways, how's everyone doing? I am I am exhausted because I did not sleep well last night because I ate something wrong. I ate something wrong and I have not, I don't, at first I was like, did I have food poisoning or I'm not sure what's going on. And it was a rough night, but I don't think it was food poisoning. Just think maybe what I had yesterday was too spicy. I don't know. Anyway, how are you guys doing today? Is Water Cooler Talk Wednesday, where we just hang out. We were supposed to have a guest, but some things got mixed up, so we'll have him on in the future. And I am so excited, but we did have a great conversation yesterday. And I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to have you on. I mean, he still may pop up, who knows, but anything is possible. But yeah, so we're gonna do our water cooler talk today. And there's a lot in the news to talk about anyway. So I'm sure we can get a lot done. Anyway, who's in the building? Let me say hello to a bunch of folks. She gets the gold. Aya is like, Aya, are you like the number one gold holder in the building? She is number one. And Jazzy is in the building. Good morning, everyone, she says. And guess who is in third place? He's not in fourth. He's not in fifth. It is Omar Ramos. He is in here. Good morning. Good morning, Kelly A. I see is in the building. And our wonderful Miss G is in the building. G.R. Houston Jack. Yesterday was her birthday. So we're going to keep celebrating every day because that's how we do. You know, she's a celebrator. She believes in celebration. Okay, and Amparo is in the building. Grand rising, she says, family. You know what? I know where my voice is gone. Last night, my cousin was on, and he pulled me in to a political conversation, and we also talked about music. And you know me, when I'm not here, usually I'm here, I'm a little more calm. I'm a little more demure. And when I was there on his platform yesterday, he got me all riled up about the election, and we were talking about the electoral college, and we're talking about the percentages and where people are, and it was a great conversation. And I ran my mouth off, and I talked and screamed and yelled, and now my voice is hoarse. Anyway, without any further, not demure. Demure or demure? That is the question. What's going on, Dr. Tachi? Dr. Tachi's in the building. She says, bonjour. Bonjour, mes amis. Did I say it right? I did not take French in class. I only have gone to Paris several times. Anyway, let's bring Gwendolyn on because, hey, she's here early. She's in the building. What's going on, Miss G?
Good morning. Good morning. Bonjour. Bonjour.
But she said, bonjour, mes amis.
Bonjour, mes amis. Yeah, you know what? I took French from junior high all the way through college.
Really?
Yes, sir. And I got pretty good. Like I got to the point where I was listening to like French R&B and French hip hop. First of all, can we just say amazing? Let me just say that. And then, you know, had a chance to go over to Paris and everything and actually read and talk. And then I fell off. And if you don't use some of these skills, the brain's like, what? What you
they
say?
die.
Yeah. So reading is not so bad. But for me, like to get my words together, I struggle. I struggle. So I'm not going to lie like that.
It is really, I mean, like I said, Spanish, I can read it. Like I'm in the signs. I mean, I go inside if I see it on a paper, I can read a lot of words, not a whole lot of words, but just to get by. I know where bathrooms, I know water, I know there's certain words I know in Spanish. However, French, I'm always, what do they call it? The grammatic movement of the words, I always mix up. I always get the spacing or the pause in the wrong place.
Yes.
Or like the E is a, like in Spanish, E is A and A is E. But French is a different type of animal. And it
Yes.
gets worse the further east, the further west you go.
It's
So
worse.
it gets worse the further east you go in Europe. Because then it becomes like the Eastern Bloc languages have a different base. Like, I think, is French also Latin base?
I
I
don't
don't know. I don't think
recall.
so, right?
No, it's one
Spanish
I
is
remember. I
Latin.
remember it's one of the romantic languages. I'm trying to pull some
Yeah.
stuff from way back when, but yeah.
English is
Mm.
a Latin based language,
Yeah,
but I don't know about the French. I just know it
yeah.
gets crazier the more east you go, the crazier it is to speak. And then you get to Asia and you're like, there's just no clue. There's no rhyme or reason. So yeah, so
Language
that's
is funny. Language is well, the English language is just a hot mess, but language is funny. But yeah, no, I wanted to I love the way it sounds amazing.
oh,
And then
French is
in terms
the
of
best.
food, the French know how to
Hmm.
eat. I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This is life. This is life in here. Like, and I told you, we went to we were there for the Maison and Objet show, and we stopped in London first, which I
Uh-huh.
don't understand. People who love London, God bless you, because I don't get it. Like,
I
it's
love
cold, it's
London.
gray, the water, like they don't understand that hot water does exist in the world. I was not happy, not happy. And so we took the train, got into Paris, walked into my hotel. I have a neat goutal around this beautiful garden
Mm.
tub. I have real whole chocolat. Man, it is amazing. The French know how to
The
do it. They gonna
the
eat.
French are all about decor.
Man,
They
yes,
they
I
got
was
the
like,
flowers in the right place, the plants are
oh
in the right place.
man.
It's They have you can eat on the street
That's
anywhere. It's like
and Texans like to eat.
it's
Texans
and
don't eat. So I was like,
it's
these my people. These are my
yeah.
people.
I love
We had a great I
Paris
had
is
a great time
Texas, and
in Paris.
yeah, I guess you can say because Texans like to eat too, but
Yes.
the Parisians, they have these literally on every other corner is a pastry shop,
Right.
and you
And
get
beautiful
your
little cafes.
baguettes.
You just sit
Ugh.
outside and enjoy
And you just said
your deal. I mean, it's just
it's
yeah.
just because the people that sit outside are the smokers.
But we had great weather. Like we were there in the winter because some of these shows happen like fall in winter. We were there in January.
Ugh.
We had beautiful weather. It was just
I've
you do what
been
you
in
do.
January, I've been in February, I've been January, February, I've been in April, I've been in August. The only time I have not been to Paris is in the dead of winter, like
Yeah.
December. But January is still considered dead of winter. So
But yeah,
no,
it's winter.
yeah,
It
it's
is
winter. It's
winter.
January 1st. I went there to
Yeah.
bring in. I was there for New Year's, and everything was decorated in Christmas lights and the beauty
Yeah.
of everyone's walking around looking beautiful. The Parisians love fashion. They like
See,
to
who doesn't
look
love
good,
fashion?
even
Who doesn't love fashion?
but not every country. Not every country. You go to
Oh,
Spain.
okay.
Spain is
Yeah.
not a
Okay. Well, then,
fashion
yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the Spanish folks in the building, but when I was in Madrid or Toledo or any of those places like Salamanca, people just like to wear black. They just like to wear black. It's black pants, black jacket, black white shirts, and maybe a t-shirt that has an American slogan on it, but it's all black when you walk around Spain. And the same thing with Italy. Unless you are like fashion forward, like in Milan, or am I saying it right? They say Milan,
Milan,
Milan, Milan. Yes,
Milan.
yeah, Milan. And it is so beautiful. But you go to all the shops, and all the shops have everything in black jackets, black boots, black pants, but
But black
everything
is
is
always great.
fashion.
Like, I mean, black is great no matter what you do. It's like it's the color.
It's
If you
the
would talk
color.
about being elegant, you step out in black. That's
Yes.
how you do it. You'd be like,
And you know what? My friends, when I first started traveling to Europe, they said, Ron, take off the American clothes. They said because you become a target. You know, all of the, especially in Spain, you have a lot of gypsies. And if you're walking around with bright colors, they already know that you're
tourists.
not from there. So my friends that live in Europe will say, Ron, make sure you wear your dark colors. June, because I like to me, I like my oranges and all bright colors.
I love a good
And they
orange. I
were
love a
like,
good orange and a nice
don't do
yellow.
it. Don't do it because you will become a target. And I was like, I shall yield and obey. Because I don't want to be pickpocketed, and I don't want my
Man,
bag slashed, and I don't want someone to try to finagle me for money and con me. Because when I don't know if you don't know the histories of the gypsies, they're good. They're good. You could be talking to a gypsy, and they could take your watch, your wallet,
that's
and
a slur.
everything. They're good. They got thousands of years of experience. Just
Yeah, but
saying,
yeah, we've definitely seen
Spain.
some in New York.
There are some in New York, but there's nothing like Spain. But
No,
Spain is so good. When you look again, another place for good food. Oh, paella and all the other.
love a good paella. Yes,
Ah,
love a good.
ah,
But that
mm.
if there's anything Gwen's gonna do, she gonna eat and drink. So there you go.
That's right. You got a bottle nearby. Where's your
I,
bottle?
we are still sipping on our mimosas from yesterday. Yes, I keep it in the fridge. I stay ready. You know what I'm saying? People say I don't think you should
Gwendolyn's
drink in
always
the morning.
sipping. She's
What do you think a
always
mimosa
sipping.
is? That's
Yes.
champagne with orange juice and a little grenadine, right? So I don't know
Yeah.
why the people like it's
Well,
5 o'clock
that's right
somewhere.
because
I
Mr.
don't
Jack,
understand that.
Mr. Jack got you some champagne, right?
Mr. Jack brought so he brought 2 bottles. He has one for the anniversary next Tuesday. It's a really
Mm-hmm.
big Magnum bottle that he purchased, and then he
Ooh,
bought a
a
something to drink
Magnum
yesterday.
bottle. I ain't
Yeah,
going there.
Ron, this is a family friendly show now. Don't get me into trouble. Don't get me into trouble this morning.
I never heard of a Magnum bottle.
Oh
Oh
my!
my god! Let me get Elise on here
Oh,
because she can keep me in check.
yes.
Hello, my Christian
Yes.
lady.
Good morning, Miss Elise.
Good morning.
I said Elise will keep me in check, so I won't go there. I won't go astray.
You gotta stay in check, Ron. Certain words trigger responses.
Oh, they trigger me. Yes, when she said Magnum bottle, I said, "Oh, okay." I can't. I just can't. I shouldn't go there.
I
But
see we
anyway,
have
Elise, how
eyes
are
on
you
each other.
doing on this beautiful Wednesday?
I'm doing well. Listening to the rain this morning. I'm
Oh,
doing
it's
well.
raining where you are. It's
Yes, it's
raining in
raining.
DC. That's right. You guys are getting the southern rain first. That's right.
Yes, we're getting it first. You'll get it. You'll get
We're
it
getting it
soon.
later on.
Yes, yes.
It's a slow crawl up the East Coast.
Absolutely. It's like I think it was in Alabama. I talked to my sister. It was down there at least 3 or 4 days
Yeah, it was in North
before
Carolina
it
for a
came
couple of days.
before
Yeah.
it came on up here. It's easing its way up here. It's raining a little hard, but it's light. It's off and on, light and heavy.
Mm.
So it's not bad yet. I'm not going out in it, but
I love the rain, and we haven't had rain in New York City in 10 days. It's been dry here for 10 days, and I feel it. I'm not one to get major allergies, but my allergies are a little wonky. So
Okay.
it's because of no rain. You got to have the rain to wash the pollen and all the junk away. So
I was appreciating all that beautiful weather we were getting.
it was
Especially
beautiful
once
though.
the
It
temperature
was
dropped
beautiful.
and there was a breeze in the air. It was
Oh
no humidity
yes.
because DC can be very humid. So
Ooh.
no humidity in DC was wonderful. I was listening to your
Mm.
conversation about food and all those things. How much you all love, like how much you know how I feel. Paris is, I've been there,
Mm.
done that.
I could go to
They have good,
Paris every
they
day
have
if
good
I.
bread.
But you know what? If I had lots of money and I could fly unlimitedly, like no limits on my flying,
Uh-huh.
I probably would be in Paris every month.
I
I would. I mean,
agree.
it's just my favorite. It's one of my favorite cities, and one is because obviously I'm being a photographer. It is one of the most beautiful places to photograph.
Mm.
And if you could be the worst, it's not, maybe I shouldn't say it that way, but you don't have to have any photography
You'd be the
skills.
worst photographer in the world,
Just to get stuff.
which is what you wanted to say.
And you could be the worst photographer. You might be able to eke out a good photo, even though you're a bad photographer, because
Yeah.
there's every angle is a photo. And then the people, because lots of people walk the streets in Paris,
Uh-huh.
it is such a, if you're into like the people photography and people doing things, and it's just that kind of place. And I'm never bored. I'm never bored in Paris. If I could afford to live there, maybe that would be another choice to live. But
Mm.
no, I mean, I
Look,
do love Paris.
look, I love that y'all love Paris.
Yeah. But you know what I love most is the
I've been there
food.
twice. I love that y'all
It's
love
the food, and guess what? I ate baguettes. I ate those little maroons, or what they called
macaroons.
Macaroons.
macaroon,
Macaroons.
and all I ate like a bandit, like that
Yeah,
little
they have
squirrel with the little thing, like a raccoon with the
raccoons.
running around.
Yeah,
I ate everything, and
they
guess
have
what?
great bread
Gained no
and
weight.
they have great bread and macaroons. I love
Oh
macaroons. When you
yes,
mentioned it to people, it's like macaroon. What's that? I was like, let me show you because I'm not talking about that coconut
not
macaroon.
macaroni.
Like every time I go to New York, I stop at the macaroon stand in the train station. There's
Yes.
one that's what and bring macaroons home. I always get me some to bring back
Oh,
Mm.
every time
they're
I go
so
to New York.
good. And when I see them, I get excited. Like my cousin had them at her wedding, and I told my father, I said, "Do you know what those are?" He says, "No."
A lot of people don't know what they are.
And I said, "Go get them. It will change your life. Go get it. Go get it."
Oh man.
Yeah,
Anyway,
every color.
so in the news, did you guys hear this on the news yesterday? This blew my mind.
Yes.
In Lebanon, Hezbollah had exploding pagers that the Israelis were
Yeah.
able to they were able to sabotage or take their shipment of
Mhm.
phones that were leaving out of China to
Mhm.
go into Lebanon. They intercepted those phones almost a year ago. And then what they did, they packed explosives in each pager
It's a lot.
that was going to go to each person that was part of Hezbollah.
Right.
So that means one is that the Israelis they were monitoring all these individuals
Mm-hmm.
for almost a year. I think they
Yeah.
said almost a year, like 8 months, something like that.
Right.
They were all over the place, just doing their thing. No wonder they knew where some of these people were when they were trying to, knock them off. But they were all over the place, and then at one moment, bam! They executed all the pagers at one time
Right.
across the country.
Right.
Now I was like, "Yo, that's gangster."
Yeah. Injuring 3,000 people, killing 8 people.
Yeah.
And they didn't care. They didn't care about collateral damage, which they don't care about anyway.
Oh, they
right?
never care about collateral damage.
It makes you. It does make you question one thing, right? So, why is it necessary to destroy an entire country if you can be that precise?
Yes.
Very good point. Yeah.
Think about that.
That's what that's what they said on Morning Joe.
To destroy an entire country.
You
be that precise.
If you can target on that level,
yes,
and you have the skills to do it,
yes.
Why do you go out and destroy 40,000 plus people when you can find a way to surgically remove people?
Right.
That was a I mean, it was a botch. I mean, I don't know what to call it, surgically removal, because anywhere they were, like there was a picture of these people in the market stand, and the guy had his side bag, and it just went boom, and everyone was flying. You know, I just said that was that. I never. I couldn't even imagine it. It was when I saw this on the news last night, I was like, this is some wicked stuff. I mean, that is wicked.
It's awful.
And then you have to think like the continuous conversations around, oh, they have the right to defend themselves against whom over there? What were they defending themselves against? Oh, those are suppliers. How do you know?
Yeah.
You know, who supplied that? Who's the supplier of that? So I think that when you look at that and the number of people who got injured, they didn't care. Like I said, they don't care about collateral damage.
No,
they have weapons that can be just as precise, that are available to them, that they did not have to do. They don't have to do what they're doing in Gaza.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
And that's what makes people angry.
Yes.
That's what makes people lose their minds. No one's saying that Israel doesn't have a right to defend itself, but it's how you defend yourself.
How they do it. Yeah.
Because you know how to do all, because you know the Israelis have been doing some crazy stuff since World War II. I don't know if y'all been watching all these documentaries since, you know, over the, I guess now 78, 80, 90 years ago. They have some really, this equivalent to our CIA is, they ain't no joke. Those folks are no joke. And they have, which is interesting about the Israeli spy structure, they have women that are so in bed. I mean, the women are, I mean, there's no difference between the men and the women. The women are just as ruthless. So, I mean, same thing with most people.
I learned a lot about the Mossad watching NCIS. A lot about the Mossad.
The Israeli Secret Service is, I mean, the Secret Service, CIA, MI6, and
MI6.
They are the Israelis are no joke, but they could be more precise.
That we constantly talk about Israel defending themselves, right?
Yes.
That doesn't leave room for other people to defend themselves.
Yeah.
Because when you do something to defend yourself, oh my God, you attacked them. But they've been attacking you for 7.5 decades. But you don't have a way to defend themselves. And I mean, we could make it granular so we can all understand it. We can be attacked by people, and our people have been attacked by people in this country who always felt we had no right to defend ourselves, who feel that we have no right to fight for the rights for us to be able to be successful and to survive in this country. So that's a kind of a micro level of what we're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I agree with Israel defending itself. I believe they should be able to defend themselves. However, I do believe, and also because I know the history of Netanyahu, he's just a dastardly kind of
I like to always push people on that.
Yeah.
Does anyone have the right to defend themselves against Israel?
Everyone has a right to defend themselves against Israel.
That's not the way it sounds.
No.
It never sounds that way to me.
If Israel does something out of line, they should be able to get it, just like everyone else. I mean, I
That
know people
doesn't.
say, "Oh, that's anti-Semitic," and all that stuff. No, I mean, Israel is just like the United States. Israel is just like any other country. If someone attacks it, then they have the right to attack. But also, if they attack others, then they need to be aware that they're going to get it. They're going to get it back, and with
Yeah.
good reason.
I guess for me, I just still I constantly feel that when that statement is made, there's no acknowledgement of what they've done.
Yeah, well, yeah,
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, because we live in a country that is the Judeo-Christian values kind of mindset.
I don't know what it is.
Well, no, because there's this weird Christianity, like Israel and Jesus coming back, and the city. There's all these woven things that are happening in our culture over the last 100 years that makes it kind of almost like a warpedness in how we view Israel. When they're wrong, they have to be said they're wrong. I mean, just like any other country, this is just my belief, is that when you're wrong, you are wrong, and you need to be dealt with just like any other. There shouldn't be anything separate, because in some people's mind that you're God's chosen people. That's a whole nother discussion and for another time, because that's a slippery slope of crazy.
It is. And it's a slippery slope of, when people don't understand what the difference is when they say anti-Semitic and when they say anti-Zionism.
Yes.
And that people in that region are all Semites.
And they're all brothers and sisters.
The Jewish people that are Semites, right?
But the whole thing
it depends on who comes in, right? And how the interference comes. And I think a lot of the interference came in when people from other parts of the world came in and started taking over people's property. Auctioning off property in the United States.
So you're going to take us down that road, aren't you?
I'm going to let that go, because I'm going to let it go, because I just think that we have to think, we can't let media or anyone contain how we think about the issues.
Yes.
Because if we did, that's how we have to realize that's how media contains how we think about other issues around other people and what their rights are and how they can be attacked. And then our country, the Christians over here. And then the one part that always gets me, and I've said this before, let's understand that not every Palestinian is of Muslim faith.
Exactly. They are Christian Muslims. They are Christian Palestinians.
Make it synonymous. That's why they go after Muslims so much. They're not all Muslims. They're Christians over there. They're Christians.
And not everyone that is considered Jewish is a Jewish believer. There are Jewish Christians as well.
Right. And
there's diversity in the Middle East.
And I think we get caught up in that. So when you see a woman with a hijab, you automatically think something different. And that's not, you can't lump everyone together.
It's very true.
There are Africans who are Orthodox Christian women who cover their heads the same way. I see them all the time in my neighborhood. They're not Muslim, but somebody may assume they are.
Right.
Because they had their heads covered.
And that's because, again, the propaganda. It's almost like, for instance, when most African Americans grew up thinking that Africa was a poor place with flies everywhere and on everyone's face and poverty, and there's no cities there's nothing going on but just hungry children hanging out in the fields.
Right.
I mean, that's what media in America painted for us for many decades. Whenever you saw it on TV, CARE and all the other stuff, you only saw Africa in its worst. And then when you get there and you're like, holy moly, they got BMWs, they got this, they got skyscrapers, they got cars, they got, and then you realize the stats of 80% of Africans live above the poverty line. 80% of the people on the continent live above the poverty line. Right. Now, obviously, their poverty line is different from ours, but they do live well. And people are living and managing their lives, and bankers and executives, and have companies and mansions. I'll never forget, I went to a house and I walked into the vestibule, and I was like, oh, this is the size of my apartment. I was like, my apartment can fit right in here. I said, can I check out the rest of the house? But you would never know that by the propaganda you see, or the lack of educated media sharing you the true picture of what the world looks like. Most of my friends in Nigeria do not. I told y'all about my friends who laughed at me, almost. They looked at me like I was crazy. My first time in Nigeria, I come with my big giant. I got my big Eagle Creek bag, and I pack it with food. I went to Trader Joe's and packed up everything, put toilet paper in, and all kinds of stuff. I was like, I'm gonna be without nothing, because I didn't know what to expect. I'd never been to Africa before, so I put everything in my bag. So when I get into the living room, I arrive and I take out my luggage and I'm unpacking, and they all looking at my buddy, and all his friends are looking like, we don't live in huts. What's going on here, Ron? And they all American. And they were like, he's an American.
Look, that's so funny.
And it was I was so embarrassed, but obviously we were all friends and we all laughed it off. But it was the first time in my life that I felt like, oh my gosh, I've been sold a bag of bad goods. I mean, as in what we are taught in America and what we see in media. I was like, holy moly. I mean, literally, they looked at me like, toilet paper. Ron, we do have toilet paper. I had everything.
America news media will have you believe that this is the greatest place on earth. And don't get me wrong, we have lots of things to be thankful for. But when you travel, you realize how much America really isn't what it portrays to the rest of the world. It's actually really sad. Like, you see how other people living around the rest of the world, like government takes care of their people. Healthcare is free, education is free. They send their children here to get higher education so that they can also be more worldly. But then a lot of times what they do is they don't stay here. The minute they're finished, they go right back home, because they take the skills that they've learned to help to build their country even more. Yeah, and that's one of the things that I've learned. Technically, I'm an immigrant. I was not born here. I grew up here. And I've traveled the world, and I've just seen how the rest of the world lives. And, and to be honest with you, everybody wants the same thing. They just want to raise their families and be happy.
They want to be happy. They want shelter. They want food. They want love, and they want to be loved.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't care what language you speak or country.
Absolutely.
Okay. So welcome, Chris. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
So strange seeing you here on a Wednesday.
I know. And you know what? It's funny because I was just doing my regular morning work, and I was like, I can take a little break. And then I was checking emails, and I saw you sent the invite. I was like, you know what? Let me jump on. So I went and brushed my beard and, put on a shirt.
Well, we are family. So here's the next subject I want to bring up. And this is a little, obviously, is fresh in the news. And the Diddy indictments. That list. Now, we were talking about it yesterday, and while we were on, they opened up the list of items that were in the indictment. I have to say, there's two things I want to talk about, and it's a positive and a negative. I get the indictments, and I get all that they were sharing and all that stuff. Am I wrong for saying, when it comes to this gun thing, obviously they made he was like, oh my gosh, he had the what they call AK AR-7s or AR-12s or whatever. But I was like, but doesn't everyone in America have these guns?
Ron, here's the thing with that. It wasn't.
What was it?
It was that he had the serial number shaved off.
Is that what it was?
Oh, yeah, he had all the guns all the big guns that he had the numbers shaved off.
Gotcha.
That's a problem.
That was the problem. Okay, so I was like, well, he has all these guns, but most Americans have these guns. And I know they said the shaving, but
The
I was
serial
like,
numbers were shaved off.
okay, so that was the reason why they
In addition to all of the sex trafficking, the one funny thing, I know it's not funny, but you have to make a joke about it.
the
They were talking
boxes
about how
of
they found
boxes of
all
oil,
the excessive amounts of lube that they found in at his properties. But that's just evidence to go towards the fact that he was, quote unquote, they were having all these orgies, and it wasn't that they were having orgies, to each his own, but it's the fact that they were trafficking people across state lines,
right?
Sex workers and underage people.
Wow. I was like, how
when
much
you
lube
have
do you,
money?
I mean, you should have saw them on Don Lemon yesterday. If you want a good laugh, check out Don Lemon at 5:00. They had the comedian,
I'm sure
I think
he
his name
went
was
in.
Guilford or something. He was so funny, but they were like saying, wow, that's a lot of lube. Like, what's going on there? And I mean, but it was just, this thing was crazy.
Listen, they've been investigating him. Well, they've gone as far back as 2008.
Yeah,
from
2008 to now.
And this whole thing got blown open when Cassie came forward and was suing him. Basically, she was the one that opened the floodgates for everything to come out. And then on top of the reason why I think the reason why they ended up actually going and arresting him now is that he was actually reaching out to someone that was going to testify against him. In one day, he contacted them directly and indirectly 54 times.
Wow.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. You have to really listen to it. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, which has really just kind of moved this up quickly. Everyone thinks, oh, this is happening so fast. No, they've been investigating him for a while.
Always remember that when the FBI comes for you, they've been doing their research for a long time.
Yeah.
It's like someone says, when Martha Stewart didn't answer the FBI correctly, and they said, always remember, I'll never forget my colleagues at the stock exchange, the old rich folks, they said, if the FBI asks you a question, they already know the answer.
Well, that's with anything. That's with anything. It's
if they ask you the question, they already know the answer.
They know the answer.
Yeah.
But like in loss prevention, in terms of FBI, you give people enough room so they can hang themselves, but you've been watching it like forever. You're just waiting until that hole is so deep. There's nothing you can do to get out of it.
Yeah.
But this is, I'm just like, I just shake my head. I don't.
To add on to that, it's not just him. There's a long list of people that I believe are like co-conspirators, because this is a racketeering case also.
Yes, it's huge.
It's not just a regular case. So a lot of lawyers are saying he should plead this out now, because if not, it's all going to become public, and everybody's going to know it's going to get worse for him as far as when it goes to sentencing time.
But not only that, they what they had on the list of things is all the videos of people. I mean, one thing to do your dirty deed, but to videotape your dirty deed, that is like, I mean, there's so much video record of what was happening. You're right, Chris. I would just simply go in and say, I'm guilty.
It's just like R. Kelly. I mean, if there wasn't all that video evidence that he probably wouldn't have gotten as much time, but he recorded everything.
Right. And let it be posted.
And labeled it. It was like, okay, well, there it is.
Here she is.
Here's my question.
Yes.
Here's my question, because I always had this, like, in terms of work politics, I never did anything that was on paper that could be recorded. Like, we were way out in the parking lot having conversations, making sure nobody had a phone on them. We were talking about stuff. Now, we weren't planning to take anything, but it was like, we got a couple of things. I don't understand this one. For people to keep video and like have it like as a library, I just don't get, why would you hold on to a crime? Like, it's a crime.
Kimmy
says, that's what it's like, they don't know it's a crime, and they just
you have to go to the psychology of it.
But look, here's Kimmy says, I just don't get why he didn't get rid of evidence. It's been simmering for a while.
That's got to be ego, though. It's got to
But
be.
It's
like,
the ego.
It's got to be this whole idea of here I am doing these things with the idea that I can never get caught. And I told you, Ron, my grandmama said, my mama said it. Whatever you do in the dark is gonna come to the light. I don't care when it comes. It is coming. It's
Absolutely.
always coming. So the few times I have done some dumb stuff, I burned all that. I burned it. Like, we not finding nothing. I just don't understand. I don't get it.
But see,
and these young kids,
I want y'all to hear Gwendolyn. Y'all said she's burned it.
Like, it's so backwards. I don't.
But you got to understand the psychology behind it.
Yeah, well,
it is the ego.
There's a psychology behind it. So we talk about ego, but there's also narcissism.
Narcissistic, yeah,
Right.
that is
So
narcissism.
that's a part of when you look up that term, you'll see all of these people and why they keep all these things because of the power and control they feel they have at the time. You know, and I mean, you think about when he had that show, The Making of a Band, and how rude, how he treated those people. He treated them, and that was a show. So you can imagine that. Well, now you'll see if they release those videos. But he kept those videos because that's power and control.
Well, that was it. He kept the videos because they were
Yeah.
He was
using. I got
using
you on video.
people.
Say something. You know.
Yeah.
Now they gonna see it anyway.
I mean, that's what this is all really about. It's about control and power. And like when people feel as though they have money and power, they will hold that over you and do whatever they want to you. And he thought that because he had all this stuff on people, no one would ever talk. And the moment it just takes one person to have the courage to stand up to someone and say, hey, this is what happened to me. Then everyone's like, all right, you know what? Hell, he did it to me too. Guess what?
Right.
And then everybody will start telling. And then it's like, now you have no power.
Well, they said one of the lawyers said yesterday is that when the district attorney, the southern part of New York, southern region, where he said, here's the number, reach out. We are still investigating. She said, because all this has come out in the way it's come out, there are so many people that have been afraid for years.
Yeah.
And they have gone through trauma. They're fearful. They're psychologically been suppressing this for decades.
Powerful.
They said a lot of these people are going to come out and make that phone call because there's power in numbers.
There is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen.
And you think about the fact that
And he's locked up
with serial numbers shaved off, and that that has a history in this country. It's so that you have an unmarked gun.
Yeah.
And what do people normally do with unmarked guns?
They kill.
They
commit crimes.
Commit crimes.
Listen,
And he's been rumored. He's been rumored for a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah,
you know,
those
allegedly rumors.
Holding a nice warm cell right there for him.
R. Kelly says, "Could you be my baby?"
Next door neighbors.
Sorry, that was a bad joke. But could
We
you be
all
my
got
baby?
it, we all got it.
But it's just so it's so sad because I always hate when I see people have their lives when they they get power and they destroy their own lives. I mean, the power, they get drunken, they get drunken on their own stuff. It's like, remember the other thing when drug dealers, when you're a drug dealer, they say don't do your own drugs.
Don't smoke your own product.
Don't smoke your own product.
Right.
Never
get high off your own supply.
Yeah, don't get high off your own supply. You're doomed.
But that's a choice, bro.
It is choice. It's a choice.
Right. But he has those young daughters.
It can happen to me. No, I'm not crazy and stupid like those people.
Yeah.
It'll never happen to me. And guess what? It always happens to you.
It was ugly yesterday though. I mean his lawyer, I don't know. His lawyer said he's innocent. But that's his job.
Well, that's his job, yeah.
That's his job.
Yeah.
And
that is his job.
I don't know how, like I said, the FBI does not come after a high profile person without crossing every T, dotting every I. Mm-hmm. They just don't. The FBI is known to they do not play. When they were at your doorstep, they say, Ron, we was talking about, I was talking to someone yesterday. They were like, Ron, when they're on your doorstep, you know it's the end. It's the end.
Yeah. Look at
Omar
Omar's
says,
comment. Yeah.
and it's the
It's just like that.
That's the whole Jeffrey Epstein story all
Yep.
over again.
Right.
And so when they did the press conference, that question was asked about his safety, because they were like, well, Jeffrey Epstein got killed in custody. They were like, well, no, sorry, not the word killed. He died in custody, because we still
don't know what
we
happened.
don't know exactly what happened, even though they say it was suicide.
Which is crazy.
But
the cameras weren't working.
The camera wasn't working. The guys were sleeping. I mean, it was, again, when things are not adding up, you know something's awry. And that Jeffrey Epstein had a black book of danger. He had black books on people from all of the top of the food chain. And they were not getting that. They were not going to let that information out. So,
yeah.
But the only thing different here, I think, is that they confiscated all of this stuff already. So there's nothing. They really don't. I mean, God forbid something happens to Diddy. They really don't need him to pursue it, because there's a whole ring of people. It's not like it's.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's still going to be hearings. There's still going to be arrests. There's still going to be, it's not like it's one person that has the black book. It's many people, and unfortunately, those parties, the after parties. People like the guy that was on Don Lemon. He goes, I went to the day parties. He was like, I went to the day, and he was like, but not the night ones.
Listen to me. When they start revealing some of the people, so I mean, remember now, this is not the first time, first big news with him. What was it, TD Jakes?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Now that he's in jail, everybody's going to start singing, because a lot of people come out and said, hey, he's invited me to these parties and told me I need to be there, and like there's drugs flowing, there's just the regular sex parties, and then there's the after sex parties. I mean, this is like if you ever watch like some of those olden Roman movies where like you've got the gladiators, and then afterwards it's like the sex in the back and stuff. Yeah, it's all of that. It's going to be really crazy when it all starts coming out, because they're going to start putting a little bit of things out here and there, because what they want him to do is to plead guilty. And in order for him to do that, he doesn't want a lot of this stuff being known. You know what I mean? Because when Cassie came out and he apologized for his behavior, that's not who he is. Oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. I'm innocent. Sir, you are not innocent. Look at all of this.
Until that video hit.
Well, the sad thing is, again, is that this guy is, and people used to give Wendy Williams a hard time.
Didn't they though?
And Wendy was telling everybody, this one's turning this one out. This one's turning that one out. The music industry is this. They're messing up young boys. They're messing up young girls. I mean, Wendy was like, she was cutting edge. I'll never forget when she was back in New York after being in Philly, and after they chased her out after the outing situation, they kicked her out of New York. Then she's in Philadelphia. Obviously, she had a drug problem at that time, but when she came back to New York, I remember I used to get out the stock exchange at 4:00. That's when she came on, 4:00 and I would have my headset on, and I'll be walking from Wall Street back to Brooklyn, across the Brooklyn Bridge, and it was so entertaining. But people gave her a hard time and say, oh, she's lying, she's doing this, she's doing that. And they tried to make her look so bad. And yet, a lot of the stuff she was saying is now true.
Wendy knew. Wendy talked
it was
about
true then. It's just being revealed.
It's just being revealed. It was new. It was, yeah.
And I think even like when you talk about open up documents, people have talked about how in the Jeffrey Epstein case that the media, mainstream media, never talks about the former president and how many times he was in there. Like they don't talk about that at all.
Parties, hands around young women. I mean, and we all know, but it's like never mind. I'm not going to get into it.
I'm just saying they never talk about it. So
I don't want to go there.
I think there's a lot of people nervous right now, especially finding out that they have video and audio. There's a lot of nervous people out there.
Yep.
There's a lot of nervous people.
A lot of people don't know that they were recorded. A lot of people don't know that they were videotaped.
Like if you're in a pulpit, start asking people for forgiveness now, I guess.
Well, on a lighter note,
I thought that was lighter.
On a lighter note, to take us out on the last conversation piece for the day, what's your favorite box of cereal?
Wait, is this something that's been trending on social media lately? Because even in my family discussions, this has been coming up.
Are you serious? I just thought about it.
Yes.
I just thought about it. This might say, what would be something fun to close out with? Really?
So on my husband's side of the family, in our family chat, like this was a whole thing for like 2 days, and it was like a back and forth party. Yes.
Well, here we go. Your family too. Family too. So what's your favorite box of cereal? It could be now or growing up. What is your favorite box of cereal? This is Watercooler Wednesday for those that are just joining in. And you're like, why is Ron talking about all this? But we had 2 serious conversations.
Yes.
And now we want to close it with a nice conversation that is going to bring us down memory lane. We like to do that here.
So I got a lot of hate for this, especially from my dad. But I don't really eat cereal anymore. One, because of the gluten allergy, and I don't like milk. But growing up, I loved Lucky Charms. Now I'm gonna tell you why.
The Lucky Charms.
Hold on. Let me explain. So I know everyone says, "Oh, you can't eat Lucky Charms. It's plastic marshmallows and that soggy cereal." But here's the trick. This is how you have to do it. With Lucky Charms, it's like if you have a bowl, you put 1/3 or less of milk, and the rest is cereal.
Yes.
And then it's kind of swirl it around a little bit so it gets coated, and then you eat it. That's how you do it. You can't do like half milk, half cereal.
I am Miss Reese. I was addicted to Fruit Loops.
That's just cardboard. It's just cardboard. There's no flavor there. It is no
back in the day there were flavors. You see, I'm about 10 years older than you are. So when I was growing up, it was real flavors.
Not nowadays.
Now it's all sugar and junk and high fructose corn syrup. However, when I was growing up, it was real. They had like the little strawberry, the little orange, and it tastes like oranges and strawberries, and it was delicious. Now, Fruit Loops today is not like it used to be.
It's just like Loops. Now I still eat Lucky Charms. Gwendolyn still eats Lucky Charms. I got a box in there right now. My Lucky Charms, and so I understand Chris's idea of a little bit of milk, the rest is cereal. Yes, that's how you do it because all my stuff stay nice and crispy, and I get all the flavors. Yes.
Fruit Loop was my number one.
We didn't have fun cereal. It was foreign kids in the 70s. We had like Chex and Rice Chex.
You were boring.
You know what I'm saying? And Frosted Flakes.
Well, listen, that's what I eat now.
We didn't get fun things until we got older. We could buy our own cereal.
No milk.
Oh my goodness!
I'm looking at Chex now as a snack, but no, we didn't have fun cereal then.
Chris R says never liked cereal.
What?
Never
liked cereal?
Never. She never liked it. And Anthony says Cocoa Puffs. Yes, I'm a chocolate with no intention of going to rehab.
Love Cocoa Puffs.
So I'm with Chris.
Oh my God.
Chris R. No, because when I have to explain it.
Yes.
So growing up with my father as the single parent of all 6 of us, he never gave us cereal.
You told me
we
that.
Woke up every morning to grits, eggs, and things like that. Grits with no sugar, by the way, no sugar. I don't know where that comes from. But so I don't have a favorite cereal. I always thought that, and when I went to live with my mother, she was like, okay, what cereal? I said, I don't eat cereal. You're gonna have to cook breakfast. My threat was like, if you don't want to cook breakfast, I need some grits, some eggs. And
she was a breakfast snob, y'all. A breakfast snob.
I was, and on occasion, if you could smother some chicken,
said, get in the kitchen. Get in the kitchen and make me some breakfast.
So wait, do you not eat cereal at all?
No, I don't like cereal.
Her dad never let her eat it when she was growing up.
My father never did cereal with us.
She told me this story when she was here. I was like, what?
And you want to try things, so
they say so. Like when I tried them, it's just so disgusting to me. It's like everything gets wet. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Her father spoiled her. Her father made breakfast every morning.
Every morning for his 6 kids, and he packed for lunch. He did all. We had dinner. We had all that stuff. And I tell you, my favorite days were the days when we had leftover chicken, and he would smother it and we could have it over the grits in the morning. And we always had biscuits. He always made biscuits.
You are, you know what you can I say?
He was.
Elise,
it was hard on my mother.
You were called an anomaly.
Yes,
you were an anomaly. I mean, I'm looking in here. I see David Moscario says Rice Krispies with bananas. I used to love me some Rice Krispies too. I had my Rice Krispie season.
I liked hearing the sound.
I like hearing the sound.
Yeah.
Snap, crackle, pop.
Yeah.
Pop. That's right. Oh, here's another one.
I love that.
Sugar snaps. I used to like sugar snaps.
Do they still have those?
Yeah, they used to look like little roaches inside the bowl.
Exactly.
My mother poured those things. I was like, Mom, what are those? Those look like bugs.
Yeah.
I was like, they look like bugs. But they did taste good. They did, but they also they had a bad consistency. Like you said, if they were in the milk too long, they got mushy. So you had to eat them really fast.
What cereal doesn't get mushy in the milk? It says
you know
now.
Hold on. You know another one I used to like? Honeycombs.
My husband eats those. I don't
that held the texture a lot longer than most of the other cereals.
That's right, they did. Crunch. I used to crunch them so much that they ripped the top of my roof of my mouth off.
That's
Captain hard. They stay
Captain Crunch.
Fill
your mouth.
Well,
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
Captain
Crunch. I used to eat that all the time too. But my favorite was Fruit Loops.
It will hurt your mouth.
But
I love y'all's experiences.
But Captain Crunch was like when my aunt and we used to all sit and look at TV and look at movies. We could eat Captain Crunch. It was like one of the cereals that you could eat all day long. So if we were looking at movies, we could have Captain Crunch.
I got one more for you.
Go ahead.
Now, this is a cereal that most people had in their homes that satisfied everyone because when you go to the grocery store, everyone wants a different cereal, and you can't afford to have like 4 or 5 different cereals.
That's right.
So you know what? The one that was cornflakes.
Cornflakes. I knew it was a flake.
And then here's the thing with the cornflakes, you just dump a bunch of sugar in it, and it's good. Mickey
says. Fruit Loops are not flavored. It's in your mind. It's just the color, making you think it tastes different.
Well, Ron. I'm going to side
remember
with Ron
flavors,
now.
dog. I do remember flavors.
I'm going to side with Ron now. When you look at things now, they're definitely different than they were in the beginning.
They're not the same today than they were when we were kids.
If you drink a soft drink, soda, pop, whatever you call it,
Twinkies.
It used to always be made with just pure cane sugar.
Or Ritz crackers.
And now it's called, I laugh because they have Mexican colas. I was like, what? That's a cola we grew up on. Coca-Cola with sugar.
All sugar.
Now it's called that because it has pure cane sugar. But it was all different.
Here's Kimmy
the whole entire day.
Hold on. Kimmy Kim says Frosted Flakes, but I like Cocoa Puffs. To Anthony Rowland. I tried to like Cocoa Puffs, but because they were hollow, I couldn't get with it. They were like you crunched into them, but they were hollow on the inside. There was air on the inside, so I didn't like Cocoa Puffs. But you know what I did like when it first came out? I'll never forget. My aunt brought it home, and it was Frankenstein, the Frankenberries.
Oh, the
Frankenberries. Oh my goodness. I used to pick out the
Yes.
little berries and eat the. I was like, eat them all
Yes.
first, and
They
then
had
eat
fun
the rest
cereal
of the
back then.
cereal. You
I
guys
still
remember
do
flicking
Cinnamon Toast Crunch,
berries?
but on my ice cream.
Ah,
I
Put it on the ice cream.
don't think my husband is the cereal eater in my house. I don't think my children ever had a favorite cereal because I would get up on when I
you
cooked,
made
I would
breakfast for your
cook
kids
breakfast.
too?
I would just cook breakfast.
You kept the tradition.
So they like to have, except for my son. My son doesn't eat. He doesn't eat bacon because he was born a vegan. But that's a long story. No, it's a fact. He was born a
Really?
vegan.
I believe her.
Born
I
vegan.
believe her. My niece
He
was
was
like
born
that when
vegan.
she didn't eat meat for like the first 3 years of her life.
Yeah,
Really?
his took longer. He would not eat meat, and I asked him what it was. He said whenever meat cooked, it smelled bad. So the
Oh,
doctor just thought he had
wow.
a keen olfactory sense. So you give him that little fried chicken, thinking, okay, I'm gonna introduce him to chicken. That boy would throw that stuff on. He would not eat it. It took him forever.
Really?
To
She
He's
only
eat
not
ate
doing pig
vegetables
feet
and
hog
rice.
mog then.
And
That's my son. That's
Omar
yours.
says, I will Frosted Flakes and Raisin Bran. Now, I have to tell you about Raisin Bran. Not that it just makes you
Was it
regular,
roaches
but
again?
it made you regular. But when I was in college, for folks like me, we were poor college students. So we barely could get to college. We could barely get to school. So I always had boxes and boxes of Raisin Bran because it filled you
The
up. I
little
love the
ones?
raisin. No, I had the big
Oh, okay.
box. So I feasted on Raisin Bran for lunch, for dinner and breakfast. So I would have it in the beginning. However, I was so poor that when I went to school, I had grilled cheese sandwiches every day. So that filled me up when I was in school. So I had grilled cheese and fries. That was what it was like for $2, $3, I think, in the cafeteria. So they were like, my friends used to tease me and they were like, Ron, how is it that you are eating all of this cheese and fries every day? Aren't you clogged up? And I go, no, because I have Raisin Bran in morning and night.
Right up.
I was like, I have Raisin Brans in the morning and night, and so therefore I'm balancing it out.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Oh my God, what are you guys saying out there? That's a true story. That is a true college story. And I never knew until after. I was like, oh, that's why I didn't have any problems.
That's why you didn't have that problem from all the cheese and French fries.
I was eating cheese sandwiches like crazy every day. Cheese
sandwiches.
The balance of the Raisin Brans. The Raisin Brans helped me get through college.
Look, I couldn't.
Oh my God.
My first college was different. I went to Baldwin Wallace in Berea, Ohio. Mm-hmm. We woke up and went to breakfast. Like you had breakfast. So I go eat.
You've been spoiled for breakfast all your life.
all her life.
Look, my mother was not happy with me. 10-year-old child telling her what she had to cook in the morning.
Wow.
Send me back.
This was revealing. This was revealing. I'm looking at what people are saying in here. Mimi says, yeah, I always cook breakfast, but my folks eat everything. Wow. And Brian said, hey, Brian, we miss you, buddy. He says, all I'm hearing is milk-covered diabetes. Today it is because
the sugar out.
It's not sugar. I mean, most of the cereals is high fructose corn syrup. And that's why so many young people and children started coming down with diabetes, is because of the high fructose corn syrup that was introduced into the food.
We didn't have all those issues back then.
We didn't have that when we were growing up.
It was pure cane sugar.
Yeah, we had cane
sugar.
Or
no sugar. They weren't sweetened. They were the no sugar or they were pure cane sugar. Everything was pure cane sugar.
There was no such thing as high fructose corn syrup until they, did their thing. Dr. Tachi said
everything.
She said, I don't like marshmallows. So any cereal that has them in is deplorable. Spoken like a true Nigerian. Deplorable. Deplorable. What's the other word, Dr. Tachi? rubbish.
Rubbish.
Simply rubbish.
Look, I just started telling people it's basura.
Okay.
Well,
That's the only time Spanish comes out of my mouth is basura.
This was good. This was really good. See, this was a good conversation. We learned a lot
funny.
about each other. I bet you I didn't know that you didn't know that Elise was a morning breakfast snob. Is it tea time, y'all?
Love a good tea cake, but it's not the kind that people be eating now. My grandmother made tea cakes.
Good. I love it.
I was spoiled by everyone.
Anthony says Captain Crunch are really good, but they tear up the roof of your. See, the same thing. Tear up the roof of your mouth if you don't soak them a bit.
Yes.
Right. Well, those breakfasts kept me from realizing how much we were struggling financially.
Yeah, because you were living large. You were living large. God bless you. God bless your dad. Your dad. I mean, think about homemade breakfast every morning, all your childhood.
So, and here's the kicker. And I told Ron this before. So when I was that age, all we had in the kitchen was a wood burning stove. And it had the little warmer at the top. So everything he did all of this on his wood burning stove. And when we came home, you could have snacks before dinner. But we would come home and he'd have dinner already ready because he worked 2 jobs. So he had dinner ready. And I started baking yeast rolls as an adult because I remember the smell of my father baking yeast rolls when I was a child.
Man. I'm gonna leave that one for another watch. Watercooler Talk Wednesday. Oh, I want to know your snacks. We'll do that next time. Because I remember mom introducing me to Jiffy Pop, and I was
hold on, don't give it all away. Don't give it all away.
Go there. Yes, I'm gonna hold back. I'm holding back. Keep it to myself. But anyway, Gwendolyn, when can people find you?
I am Black Power Bunny on Instagram and GR Houston Jack on YouTube.
And Elise, where can people find you?
It's Elise. That's SALIEZE _ on Instagram.
And Chris, where can people find you, sir?
They can find me at constantly _changing the number for me, all one word, on Instagram, on Threads, on YouTube, on Facebook. Yeah.
And there you have it. And you can find me right here. And so tomorrow is our Thursday. Tomorrow we'll be doing our Trend Watch Thursday. So we'll be talking about the news tomorrow and also anything that's related to politics and also trying to keep everyone educated on voting and getting voting. All the voting is happening, I think, Tuesday, or is it Monday? I think the early voting starts on Monday or Tuesday next week.
What's the 20th? I know at least by the 20th, right?
Yeah. So the 20th is Friday.
20th is Friday.
It is, yeah. So it's Friday. Right. So early voting is starting. Yeah, early voting is starting, kids. And
September is almost over already.
Oh my goodness. I was so happy. One of my clients paid their bill yesterday. I was like, holy moly, yes. Now I can pay my mortgage.
Now
I get to pay my mortgage. So anyway, I was like, that's manna from heaven. So guys, if you enjoyed this time together, like we're a community. So here we are. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share. That's great for the algorithms. But not only that, because I would like to know how you feel about what we do here. Also, if you have suggestions on topics, let us know. Let me know. Slide into my DMs. Ooh, that oversounds so bad.
Oh my God. All right, Rod. I'm singing the Tin Man song. Go on to me.
Say the quiet part out loud.
Say the quiet part.
Anyway, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're on at a different time. I meant to tell you that because tomorrow I have a big meeting in the morning. So we are on at 11:30 instead of 10 o'clock tomorrow. 11:30 instead of 10 o'clock. So just so you know, I have
I'd
a
have been
big.
freaking out tomorrow. Talking like,
Yeah, you'll be like, "Where's
anybody heard from
Ron?"
mine?
It's 11:30 tomorrow, not 10 o'clock. I have a business meeting to attend for some networking and stuff. So, and I'm presenting, so I couldn't get out of this one because I'm presenting. So I'll be able to do that. But yep. So I'll see you at 11:30 tomorrow. Okay, make sure you put it in your calendars. Okay.
All right,
guys, thank you for joining me today. And go get a box of cereal.
Not me. I do have some grits though. I have grits.
I love you guys. Have a great day, guys. Bye.
Bye.